Don't believe it.
All right, guys. Holy crap, that is peaking like no other. All right, welcome to KVNO 90.7 HD-2 MAV Radio, Omaha's only true college radio station. This is Tier 3 Podcast, Tuesday at 8, and this is where intro music would go if we had it. I am Eric Anderson.
I'm Jim Adiri.
I'm Alex Kuklinski.
And Jake Partouche.
And this is the show where we're all feeling a bit older. Because the CD turned 30 yesterday.
No.
That is crazy.
Sad.
Yep.
Sad.
When I was a kid, the CD was still brand new. Only 10 years old.
Only
Yeah, 20 years old, actually.
Really, we shouldn't be too sad about this. It's the day that we're doing this show and the MP3 has died. That'll be a sad
Oh,
show.
that will be
How old is the MP3?
I have no idea.
less than 10 years, probably. I would say
Less
No.
than 30.
Yeah, less than 30.
Long
So
live the MP4.
Between MP4.
MP4 is so much better.
Well, we are officially bringing
It's bigger
on.
though.
My
Well,
headphones
now
are-
it's easier.
Mine
We
are
are
good.
officially bringing on Alex Kuklinski
Woo!
to the podcast.
Welcome.
Thank you.
He's a tech guru in everything that he does. And we'll see if Drake lasts. So. And the resolutions I know of the past videos has been a little shifty. I have figured
See
out
if
the
Eric
problem, I
laughs,
think.
then that's his thing.
Yeah, that's my thing.
Yeah.
But I think I figured out the problem, so this podcast forward, they will be in stunning high definition. And you will be able to see them in all their glory.
And not
On
hide
your
out
fork.
from like an iPod video.
Yeah.
10 years
Yeah.
ago.
Your stunning 4K resolution TV. I'm
Oh,
sure you're
yeah.
watching.
Yeah, if you
Yeah,
watch this
definitely.
podcast on 4K TV, first of all, kudos to you for having the money to buy a 4K TV, and we will look awesome. It'll
Highly
look really,
pixelated
it'll
and
look really
awesome.
crappy.
No, highly pixelated. And
Highly,
awesome.
yeah. Yeah,
It'll
it'll
look
be
like
like
Mario.
yeah, that's what I was just gonna say. It'll be like watching a Mario game.
If you have a 4K TV, why are you watching us?
You should be donating money to that radio.
My bank account routing number is.
All right, so let's get into some news. I guess the CD did turn 30 yesterday. It was on October 1st, 1982, that the first compact CD player hit the market in Japan.
Wow.
How much did that cost?
Only
It's probably a
$2,000.
lot.
Yeah, I bet it was like $2,000.
I don't think they said in the article that I pulled up. I pulled up an article from PC Mag.
They probably don't remember the times where they paid $2,000 for CDs.
Yeah, really. It was 16-bit, 44.1
Wow.
audio.
Ye-
Pretty crazy.
Yeah, that's
Terrible.
Pretty
That's
sad.
terrible, yes.
You could stream more over the internet now.
Back
then
a
it was
little
pretty
bit
slow,
more.
yeah.
Did they have the internet?
I don't know if they had like that.
It wasn't the
extended.
internet.
Yeah, it wasn't the.
It wasn't
internet.
the internet. It was.
It was-
We'll have to ask
intranet,
Al
maybe.
Gore.
Hmm?
Yes.
We'll have to ask Al Gore.
Yeah,
See
well,
what he
When
Right.
did the
Okay.
internet-
We're not gonna go down that road.
It's too early in the podcast.
We don't want to annihilate everyone yet. Alienate.
Right.
Same thing.
Yes,
no one
yes.
else got that. All right. So there's a
Annihilate
security
with
flaw.
words.
There's a security flaw that's been brought up in Twitter that's been exploited recently.
Sounds kind of fun.
Yeah,
Did
it
it happen to
does.
you,
It
Eric?
sounds a little fun. No, it didn't happen to me, but I think I'll be changing my password. There was a attack that happened to a certain someone,
Named
Daniel Jones.
Hashtag blanket.
Hashtag at blanket, whatever. Okay.
No, it was just.
Hashtag at blanket? That
Or
makes
at
no
blanket.
sense.
All right,
all
fair.
right.
It's
Come on,
new-
doing
it's new
hashtags
trends on
all day.
Twitter.
It's early in the podcast.
Hashtag stealing your
Still getting
Twitter
into it. No, okay. This guy had his account hacked, and all his followers deleted. His account wiped clean.
At blankets?
At blanket,
Okay.
not plural. At blanket.
Well, at blankets possessive.
No, at blanket.
Because you know
At
S
blanket.
makes it singular.
Yeah. Whatever. But okay, so his account was wiped clean, and how they did it was I guess, they can keep basically brute forcing the password as long as Twitter thinks it's coming from a different computer every time. So
Makes
assuming like Twitter will block it it's being attacked from the same
Same
IP or
IP.
whatever.
So you can probably
every
have
time.
like 3 tries from one computer and then 3 tries
Yeah,
from
something like
another.
that.
Switching IPs.
But this guy,
You can do that with proxies. It's
Yeah.
pretty easy.
his was hacked by basically, he found it, he went in depth search on how to find it, and basically the group that was doing it, or if it was a certain person, I was under the assumption it was a group, but they were reselling these Twitter accounts, or the
For over $100 a piece.
the @ names, for profit, on some underground forums.
That happened to a guy on Xbox not too long ago, if I remember right. I remember hearing a story about that.
His gamer tag.
Yeah.
It was resold after.
I'm not too surprised because the gamer tags are related to like your Microsoft account or something, and that's like Hotmail.
Yeah. I mean, my Microsoft account got hacked, but I didn't notice for like 3 months because I never log into Hotmail.
Yeah.
Really?
Gmail now. So.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the only reason why I have a Hotmail account was for Xbox. So.
Yeah, and where was it? It was like 20. Oh, better not go that far down on the screen. That's a little iffy down there. But
What are you looking at?
it was what his screen name
Excuses,
had been
excuses.
changed to, and it is not nice.
Oh, the picture that.
It's something pretty obscene.
But it was like
it's
20.
not that bad.
No, it's just
not
the,
for
it's
this
not
podcast. It is.
It's just the
Yeah.
the name of the Twitter account that it was changed to.
Continue.
Oh, that.
Continue.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
Continue.
Yep.
But anyway, it was like 25% or something. I think I've got it in here. We'll see. I'm pretty sure it was like about 25% of. It was either general internet users or Americans have had their passwords compromised.
I would say Americans.
Probably Americans. Since we always have like the 1, 2, 3 ABC.
Yes.
Very simple
Yeah.
passwords, yes. So we can remember because we're simple people.
There's some pretty good passwords.
Okay.
Agrees, Ajay.
Okay.
There's some pretty good password apps out there.
Yeah,
that
which even store your
For
passwords.
for storing them.
Made by
Yeah.
the people that steal them.
Not always.
Not always. Like,
But they're also made by reputed like
It was
software
a joke.
companies.
It was a joke.
yeah, or at least you hope. I mean, the one I use, because I have, I think, over 50 passwords.
What's it called? So
For
I
all
can try and
some-
get into it.
It's called Safing Cloud. It's I think I paid like $1 for it. It's pretty good.
Well, and it's just insane how many passwords you accumulate.
Or you could save
Over-
all your passwords over on a USB stick.
Maybe just use
Pretty much every
Same password
website.
for
I mean,
everything.
it never used to be you had to log into websites. I mean, it was a long time ago, but and
Mhm.
pretty much now every single website. It's not just Facebook and Twitter and the places where you're talking to other people. It's general websites. All these tech sites, The Verge, Gizmodo, they all want you to log in.
Yeah.
You don't have to, but basically to comment on stuff you do.
I mean, the nice thing is that some sites you can log in with Facebook, you
Right,
can log in
yeah.
with Twitter, you can log in with OpenID, stuff like that. But
Which is nice, but at the same time, like a lot of those, I know Gizmodo had a problem with it. One of their sister sites, Gawker, I believe, or one of
that's their parent
one,
company.
yeah, one of their one of the Gawker sites was compromised, and all their passwords leaked. Well, a lot of those users use the same password through all those sites.
Yeah.
So, like when you log in with Facebook or something, it's just a risk that you take when you do that. That it could be.
See, because it could also be like
It could be
phishing
compromised
attempt.
for all of your.
Yeah.
It could be a
passwords.
phishing attempt because somebody might actually have just created a fake website and gotten you to log in with Facebook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you have access to everything that Facebook account has been used for.
My mom actually, this is it was bad on my part because I was kind of mad, but my mom was on her iPad and my sister sent her a message on Twitter. And it's like, you have to log in to Twitter or whatever. So I log in and I was like, something doesn't look right. Like the logo is different. I was
Okay.
like, oh crap. So I had to go back and change it. But the nice thing is I have different passwords for pretty much everything. So you don't have to.
See, I tried to do that, and I just I was like, you know what?
You can
Too
have
hard.
let's just make it. You can have like 5 passwords.
I'll
and
tell you
use
guys
them
this:
for
if
a
you
whole
guys
bunch
guess one of my
different
passwords, you've got access to pretty much everything I got.
Touche.
It's related to your birthday.
No, I stayed away from that.
That's good.
Steamy peas.
Thanks. No. Now you have a username.
That's a good username, I guess.
It's it's funny because I found that I was thinking about that. It came to me in the lunchroom actually. Scott Hall,
Oh,
surprise,
wow.
surprise.
Okay.
But believe it or not, that name is not taken on practically any site. That is
Really?
almost a guaranteed it'll work.
Wow.
Steamy Pete.
I've found.
Until now.
Yeah,
Until
because we have so many listeners. I mean, it's
Let me grab the domain really quick.
Yeah. Actually, you should check that out. What is steamypeas.com? I'd be interested to know.
Okay, shall we get on to the next thing finally?
Hold on.
Yes. So looks here like Sharp is starting to mass produce 5-inch 1080p displays for
taken.
smartphones.
What is the point of that, honestly? Like, it's good, but
Well, the
5-inch you're not going to be able to tell.
well,
most of
that's the
time.
point. And there's been I read some of the comments in this article. This was found on The Verge, by the way.
You can buy Steamy Peas for
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think it's taken. I looked it up.
for $10.
Or you can just register.
Buying now. Just kidding. Continue. I
I-
apologize for the interruption.
So, The Verge reported yesterday that Sharp has started mass producing 5-inch 1080p displays for smartphones. Basically, it starts to override the whole Retina display marketing thing with Apple. Because I think the Retina display has, 340 pixels per inch? And I believe this one has, 443 pixels per inch. So you're getting a lot
Yes,
crisper.
yeah, but okay, that's true. You're basically beating out Apple and saying you don't have the best screen.
Okay, so you can't really tell
Yeah, but you're just
pixels
saying.
per inch, but that's just their marketing thing. So
Yeah.
like
You can tell. There's been
on an. Okay, continue.
I actually looked into this because I was like, well, who cares? But there's actually studies out coming from Japan saying that the higher the resolution, it just looks crisper. It's not so
Yeah.
much that you don't see the pixels. It's just that it looks crisper.
True, but I think it just reaches a point where even the crispness is difficult to discern when you get to differences of maybe 40-50 pixels per inch.
Yeah.
Because at that point you're just going to be like, okay, that doesn't look that much greater unless it's maybe 200, 300 pixels per inch is improving. Then
Yeah,
you'll just
right.
be insanely different.
And to me, resolution doesn't mean as much as picture quality. Like Samsung screens look way better than LG's,
Yeah.
for example.
They're just a little brighter and all that.
Color
and
contrast. And
Yeah.
stuff
Yeah.
like that.
The same way.
Color
I
contrast makes a huge difference.
I do like my ACC screen. That's why, because they did a good job on the screen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Does Apple still get their screens from
HTC.
Samsung? Wasn't it
No.
No.
They used to get them from LG actually.
LG or Sharp?
But they used to get them from LG. So
Yeah.
It's interesting though. We had an article I think 2 weeks ago about Sharp basically being very close to going under. They were
Yeah.
selling office space and furniture, basically to keep up. And it mentions it in this article. Sharp is cutting thousands of jobs, basically dealing with huge losses, and they're kind of hoping that this is going to help them recover from that.
And I mean, I kind of, when I worked at Best Buy a couple of years ago, I kind of noticed that Sharp was on the decline when they came out with those new TVs that have the yellow sub-pixel.
Yeah.
I was like, what's the point of this? It was like, all it really does is make the yellows look better. It doesn't really...
And they
They're doing anything
really,
else.
really pushed that too.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
pushed it for no reason. Like, I didn't understand it. And the
They
TVs, the quality of them was just terrible. Like you know how on most screens there's a really nice flat surface?
Yeah.
Well, on the Sharp ones, it was a wave. If you looked at it from an angle, you could see the wave
Okay.
in
Wow.
the finish. It just looked really bad. But I've never been a Sharp fan, so maybe I'm biased.
Well, maybe you'll be a Sharp fan now with the new 1080p screens.
Maybe.
Continuing the Verge streak, IKEA is planning to sell only LED lighting by 2016.
The first time I read that, it sounded like they're dropping all the furniture and just going for lighting. I'm like,
Well, okay, so
why would you do that?
I did word that wrong.
we don't have a hipster in here to explain what IKEA is to us, but
I
okay,
do.
okay, all right.
hipster raised his hand.
You didn't have the glasses. The glasses weren't matching for a hipster
Well,
style, but
the shirt is.
oh yeah, true. Yeah,
That's
Portal.
true.
I didn't wear my Portal shirt. Okay, so explain IKEA to all of us who don't.
IKEA is like Cabela's, but for furniture. And
That's a good way of putting it.
it's a huge. I've only been in it once, because they're mostly on the east and.
Oh, they have
west
actual
coast.
stores? I thought this
Yeah.
was online only.
No,
Oh
They
no,
have
their
stores.
their
Big
stores
stores.
are massive.
Okay.
It's really cheap furniture,
Yeah, really
They
cheap.
have the disposable
decent furniture. Yep.
modern furniture that's uncomfortable.
Well,
But,
the disposable stuff I don't think can be that comfortable.
Hey, cardboard. You know.
Yeah, they do a lot of basically lightweight furniture,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of dorm room type stuff.
Yeah. I mean, it's basically stuff that looks cool, but it's not gonna last forever.
Right.
But it looks
So,
cool,
like-
so who cares?
Walmart.
No, I say it's higher quality than Walmart. It's basically, I'd say it's higher quality than Target. But I mean, it's decent furniture. It's just once you get the money, you'll replace it with something
Yeah.
something
Nicer.
better. Yeah.
So they've announced that by 2016 it plans to phase out sales of traditional lighting equipment and going exclusively with LED lights.
Oh, speaking of IKEA, they're building a store right outside Kansas City.
Oh.
Oh, really?
So it's
Yeah.
going to be a little city on its own?
Putting out the Furniture Mart down there?
Yeah, there's a story in the World Herald about that actually.
I
a couple
don't
days ago.
think enough people knew more about the fact that Furniture Mart will
Furniture
price
Mart.
match anything.
Aren't they opening up a store in
Texas.
Texas, yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. Well, they have a store in Kansas City too.
Yeah.
I'm saying that they will price match anything, and that applies to literally anything, including.
Oh, yeah, you should do
That's
that real
what-
quick. Okay, if you live in Omaha and you're near the Nebraska Furniture Mart, search
Yeah.
for your stuff on Amazon and then just take your Amazon paper and Nebraska Furniture Mart will
We'll
price,
price match
it.
it. I basically went and bought an optical cable out there, which is priced at $25, and they sold it to me for $5.
Yeah.
Nice.
A lot of people don't know they'll price match just about anything.
Yeah, Eric told me about that. Last week?
Yeah.
2 weeks ago. I was pretty shell shocked about that.
Yeah, that was pretty nice. So that's one thing people should look at, because Furniture Mart.
I can't believe they price matched Amazon. No one
They
price
do.
matches
Yeah,
Amazon.
that's
Yeah,
the thing,
and
like-
I wasn't thinking about it at the time, but when I bought my camera from them, I didn't even ask them to, but they checked Amazon right there in front of me just to make sure they weren't selling it for
more than
cheaper.
that.
It's crazy. Their electronics department of the store, of the Furniture Mart, is like bigger than a Best Buy. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
And
So
now
what's
the
about the
sling.
sling box? Yeah.
Um,
You're
sling
the story
boxes
man, so.
are kind of they're not really mainstream, but they have a
So
purpose.
perfect for the hipster. Right?
Sold that IKEA.
I had one, but I didn't keep it very long. Actually, in a nutshell, the sling box is you set it up right where your cable box is, and then you can watch that from your computer. But the catch is, whatever you watch on your computer gets switched on your TV, so both can't be viewing different things at the same time.
Okay.
Yeah, so basically your cable box is outing the signal both to your TV and to this box.
Okay.
It's nice, but
So this
it-
throws it to the computer?
yeah, it'll throw it to the computer. So like they have a Slingbox app on your phone.
Okay.
So like if you want to watch
Okay,
football or
gotcha.
something, you can do it.
So it's basically like saying you could watch the same thing and not be in front of the TV, but
Yeah.
you couldn't watch. Two people couldn't watch two different things, and
Does
Mhm.
the TV have to be on for this to work?
No, just the cable box. Yeah. You the way it's kind of complicated for newbies to it, but
Ouch.
basically you hook. It took me like a good 45 minutes to figure out how to get the stupid thing to work. But you have your sling box. You have to hook it up to a router, which in the new ones it's nice because they have Wi-Fi built in, so that's nice. Yeah, but long story short, sling box hooks up to your cable box. Your sling box is hooked up to your Wi-Fi, and then you have it on your phone or.
Computer,
how much does it
whatever.
cost?
I don't think there's a monthly cost for it. I think you just
No, I
pay
mean
the.
just like the first time, because you could get like a. Couldn't you get a TV tuner card, and that would actually not require a monthly thing either?
Right, but you have to have it cabled to your
At
No.
home.
$80.
coax.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but if you want all like the high def channels and everything, you have to get a cable card, which in Omaha with Cox it's like $2 a month.
Oh.
But yeah, just something that was new. I thought that was interesting.
Well, and yeah, the updates to this, it's finally going 1080p just
Ah.
now.
Yeah, that's kinda-
Actually, it's
Well-
not $80. It's not. That's something below it. There's a picture, and there's
I
something.
think they're
below-
around $200 or $300.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
says this person said $300, but there's
Get your
nothing.
facts straight, Jake.
You know, I'm sorry. I was
Come
just
on
looking at
and
the
read
picture, and
show.
underneath the
We are a
box is
reputable
Yes,
news.
yes.
$80. Something about Best Buy's price tagging because there's misleading.
It's gonna be
Yeah,
wrong all
sometimes
over
they
the
are.
internet. We said that. But they're getting 1080p, and is the Wi-Fi the other new feature in these?
Yeah, that's
Why is
right.
that just now coming?
Well, believe it or not, sling boxes have been around for about 7 years.
Yeah.
So, I mean, 7
What?
years ago when they came out, I mean,
There should have been an update in between then and now.
well, the problem
that
with them
included
was
Wi-Fi.
they were using composite and component cables.
Okay.
They didn't have HDMI.
Yeah.
So that was the problem. But
Is it like one of those small business operated things that people just take a while to figure everything out and put it out?
I made a video on YouTube a couple of years ago, and a lot of people wanted to see how it was going to work with like family members that are overseas. So I actually had someone message me and be like, "Hey, how do I get this to work with my husband that's in Afghanistan?" So he could watch American TV on his phone or his computer.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, but I don't know. The only thing I did with my sling box was play Xbox on my phone.
Wow,
That's cool.
That's pretty cool.
Oh, the 10-second lag wasn't. But
Okay.
it was proof of concept.
So no, I'm more interested also to ask, like, do you think there'll be something in the future? Hopefully that'll be something related to how they were streaming games through the internet, which can just be simply streaming cable better than what they do now.
You know, I view the sling box as something that the cable companies and
Should adopt.
content providers should be adopting anyway, because there's a huge market for it. And if they just got the I mean, look at Hulu.
Right.
Hulu's huge because they actually agreed to put content out there. And even if, I mean, I pay for Hulu, or I used to pay for Hulu, and the ads didn't matter. But the point was that I could watch shows that were on TV a day later,
Yeah.
and, you know, I still caught up.
Isn't there also, like, wouldn't they be more concerned about the fact that if they do this, then multiple people could watch, like, whatever show they want, wherever they, like, instead of having, what would be the point of getting multiple cable boxes? Like, in a neighborhood, you can basically have, like, 2 or 3 houses share this, and people all of a sudden start getting their own thing without having to buy a cable box.
This kind of goes to the whole piracy issue. It's going to happen, but chances are most people aren't going to know how to do it.
That's true. They can make it so complicated. People just can't do it that easily.
Yeah.
Make it not user friendly so that people don't steal their stuff.
Yeah. I mean, like, the tech savvy people will always find out a way to do something, but for
That's
the general
true.
population, I don't think it's easier for them just to pay for it.
So we're gonna go in a totally different direction here now. We talked
Why
last
do we have
week.
this here?
We talked last week about Iran blocking. Was it last week?
Gmail and
Yeah, it was
everything.
last week.
Well, basically blocking the internet. They were going to start up their own domestic internet, which I don't know if that. I haven't read anything if that's kicked up yet. I'm guessing it
Iran
obviously has.
iRat.
I don't think it
Iran
has.
Internet.
Iran
I ran into a net. That sounds better than that.
Iran
No, it
Internet.
doesn't.
Okay.
Basically, long story short, is Iran was like, that's not a good idea.
Okay, so did they like start it and then they backed off? It says
They-
they've restored
they couldn't-
Gmail.
they couldn't have started.
They restored Gmail, but YouTube is still blocked.
Okay.
I'm saying they couldn't have put it in
Big
full
surprise.
effect that quickly because it does take some logistics to do that.
Right, but I mean, as far as
Plus, the Iranians are actually really tech savvy.
Yeah,
people.
I'm not surprised.
yeah, that's why all our
actually, yeah.
outsourcing goes.
Yeah, maybe not to Iran, but
Wow, you guys.
See, it
outsource to all
says
kinds.
many of them. See, we didn't think they'd be able to use
Including
VPNs, but it says a lot of them were able to use VPNs to get outside of the internet, and it created millions of dollars in profit for local VPN firms. Even government officials railed against the lack of Gmail. Yeah, it's hard to work without Gmail.
It's hard to work without any
The
other
internet, yeah. It's very
yeah.
hard to work without the
Yeah.
internet.
Because you already have like a completely good system in place, and all of a sudden you're shutting it all down, and a lot of stuff goes away. Then
yeah.
what do you expect?
I guess I didn't think about this though. YouTube is part of the Google
Yeah.
infrastructure. So they've managed to block YouTube without blocking without blocking Gmail. Is like Google still blocked, like just the Google search? Because I know that was going to be blocked.
You never know.
Probably not, but they probably have Google censored their. They probably have censored search.
Oh yeah, I have no doubt about that.
They probably just go like, oh, I'm going to search this, and that just Google just
like,
says you can't search that, or you just, that page gets blocked, maybe.
Just like China.
Yeah, but China's a little worse.
Yeah, but I mean, same concept. You never know what's going to be blocked.
I'll tell you this will never happen in India, though.
Aren't they doing that in India?
No, they're not. They're not.
I thought
they can't. It's too much outside companies and stuff. The government doesn't have that much power, and the government is not tech savvy at all. It's actually worse than the U.S. They barely know how to use technology.
Oh,
In
really?
fact, that's why they want to push people out of there.
Huh.
Because they don't know.
Because I was reading articles about how India started like censoring.
Yeah, they do censoring, but that's like even in the U.S. you censor a lot of stuff at homes or something.
Mhm.
It's almost the same level as that.
But I mean, there's a difference between
There's one
censoring
state.
at home.
There's one state which is censoring TV. Which
Oh,
is,
really?
Yeah, which is censoring a lot of like the TV channels, but they don't know how to censor the internet.
Mm.
That's what I'm saying. They're not that tech savvy.
Okay.
Even though it is basically like a soft, almost an IT nation, the government is not tech savvy enough to do it.
Mm.
So that's why the power grid failed.
That's pretty much it, actually. If you actually had some people from other companies, then they probably could have avoided all that.
So check this out. Apple's Ping. You guys even know what that is?
I don't know. What is
No.
that?
Ping from Apple. That's a little social network within iTunes.
Oh yeah, I
that
remember hearing about
no
that,
one ever
yes,
used.
yes.
Yeah, it's gone.
Okay.
It's gone.
That's all right.
Oh no.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I mean, it was either I was gonna delete Facebook and just go over to Ping. Is what I was
All
gonna
right.
do.
Okay.
I switched over from MySpace to Ping, and now.
Actually, I think it was pretty much just, from what I understand, just for music.
You
Yeah,
could have
I guess.
followers and stuff. You could have people follow you and see all your playlists.
Who thought that was a good idea?
Yeah, I don't know. It was announced last month that it was going to be blocked, and I guess September 30th they finally took it out. I didn't even notice until Alex threw this in the show notes. I was like, "What is? Oh, that's right,
what it
that's
is.
right." I knew something was gone.
You knew something.
No, it's
you
funny
did- you
because
did?
I have iTunes up pretty much 24/7 on my computer.
Really?
And yeah, pretty much. And I didn't
Why do you think
even
the
notice
battery dies
that
so
this is
fast?
gone.
Ah,
So it's like
maybe because
It's an alien.
It's Alienware.
That's
because
another
it's made
reason.
by Dell.
yeah, because it's
true.
made by Dell. Yeah.
Well, the battery for this isn't that bad. It's
Yes,
made by
it
Dell
is.
too. It's pretty bad.
It's
but
bad.
yeah, it's funny you say that because before the show you're like, plug it in, plug it
Yeah,
in, plug
I
it
know,
in.
right? I mean, no, I hadn't charged in like 3 days. And I've been using it in the airplane, not in the airplane, but in the
Oh,
airports.
yeah. Well, and then you dropped it.
And I dropped it in the
Dropped
airport. Yeah,
it
that's
there.
one nice thing. It's just got a couple of little kinks, but otherwise it's doing pretty good. I'm wondering what Eric's Alienware would have
When I drove,
done.
when
It
I
would just break.
well, when my roommate kicked my Bostro,
Oh yeah,
the
that's
hinge
right.
broke. So then it was bad because the screen was coming apart from. Yeah, it was a bad thing. So
But it still lives with Linux.
it's living with Linux. Yes.
Let's
Hard drive
let's
failed,
go to
so.
some. We almost had an Apple free podcast.
Sorry.
Why
It
do
was
we have
so
Apple?
Sorry.
And I was looking at the show notes and I was
You
like,
can't ever
oh,
have
we
Apple.
have nothing in Apple. And then I could like see Alex typing live because it goes Alex. And I see Apple stuff being typed. I'm like, oh my god.
Why do we have Apple? Let's hate on Apple a little bit. There we go. Cause let me
No,
start.
this is an awesome article.
Yes.
Yeah,
the
'cause
iPhone
we love hating on
5.
Apple. So
iPhone 5, the greatest phone ever, apparently. 2 million pre-orders and whatnot. Well,
There's more
you
than that.
make a yeah. There is. But try using the
That was
camera on
AT&T,
it. Try using the camera on it in even the slightly bright place, like with like maybe a light in the background, maybe a light on the ceiling, and you would start seeing purple glares apparently.
yeah,
And that's how they say that's as bad as it gets. So okay, let's try and take a picture of a sunset, which is actually advertised in one of their ads.
I'm gonna try and see if I can find it. Oh yeah, picture
Yeah,
done.
you see that?
Wow, that is really bad. Actually, I'll bring it up on the screen.
So it's basically like a picture of the outside, like somebody in a park or something taking a picture of the sky with clouds or whatever, and it's basically in the iPhone 4 picture, the sun just is like normal, but on the iPhone 5 picture, it's like a purple flares, like a little. It's like almost like the picture is bad or something. Like somebody burned it from one side.
Well, the funny thing is, this is awesome because there's tons of complaints to Apple, and Apple responds
it's not
by their awesome, like, universal response. You're holding it wrong, which is just great because back when the iPhone 4 had the antenna problem, which really was a problem when it first started popping up, Apple's like, you're holding it wrong. And
Not
there's
just Apple. Steve Jobs sent an email
Yeah.
saying that.
It's very clear from these pictures there is a definite problem with the camera.
Okay, let me ask.
Especially when you compare it to the iPhone 4.
It's not with the camera per se. It's
The
because
lens.
the lens has a sapphire coating
Right,
on
that's
it.
a brand new feature. Yeah. And they actually showed that. I think we showed a video of it in a couple earlier podcasts of them actually making that lens and stamping it on there.
Okay,
the coating.
Let me ask it in this way. Apple has always been saying they've been making products for consumers and how they've basically been modeling the thing so that it fits perfectly in your hand. Mm-hmm. So if it fits perfectly in your hand, how can you be holding it right for so many things? I mean, holding it wrong for so many things.
I mean,
So,
even in this, there's the picture of a tree that's up on the screen right now. It's got a purplish hue at the bottom of it. It's pretty bad. Yeah, it's not good.
That is pretty bad. So no, that's honestly like they claim to be the best in consumer electronics and be like the best in actually being able to build technology that you can intuitively jump into, which is mostly true with all the operating system and stuff. But if they can do this simple thing right, where they keep saying that the people are holding it wrong, and
well, they tried. It's
by millions of
interesting that it
people.
wasn't tested or it wasn't noticed before that sapphire lens went into production. Because this should have been foreseen, and anyone who knows anything about cameras or picture quality could have told you that's a crappy.
It may be a
crappy photo.
It may be an isolated problem with I don't know how many percent of
maybe,
phones,
but they've all got that. They've all got that.
See, but if it's being reported
when it goes into production line, it's different than when they're designing and developing the phone.
No, but I know that's what I'm saying. I was wondering how their testing processes might be. Maybe they didn't even go outside and test it with actual sunlight or something. Maybe they were testing it with actual pictures of random like stuff indoors. Maybe, I don't know, something around those lines. Maybe they didn't do extensive enough.
They field test outdoors.
But I question if they did it extensively enough, or if it is actually a problem with the production. But then again, that almost seems worse because they're mass producing this. And now they have
might be the problem.
And they have to recall all those.
Well, will they? Because right now
they
they're just saying you're holding
it
wrong.
They probably won't. I don't know what they'll do.
Yeah, that's the other thing I wanted to ask is how are they going to, if they finally admit that this is actually their problem, how are they going to fix it?
I don't think they can. They'll just be like, oh, we're going to release a 5S very soon. You can buy that.
How would you?
What they'll probably end up doing is they'll have a program where they, Apple makes a fixed lens cap. And then not something to come on top, but they'd actually replace the lens.
Okay.
And then just
so you have.
I was thinking maybe release a software update that compensates for the.
Well, if you do that, then
it's
you're
a lot more
risk
work.
Other colors.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's a lot more work to actually make a software update for that than just to fix a lens.
True.
But a lot more expensive to fix a lens.
Well, maybe, but think about it this way. If you make a software update and, as he says, it screws up other colors, you're basically going to be risking even further problems. And on top of that, as I said, like making software...
I'd say a software update is probably better approach to fixing the problem.
And we don't know what the problem is. I mean, we're just assuming that it's the sapphire lens covering, but it could be a whole number of things. I'm sure they're working on it.
It could also be an issue with how long the aperture is being open or aperture is open.
Well, because like when every Mac comes out, or when every new iPhone comes out, remember when they always used to have that yellow tint problem?
Yep.
And all it is the glue. It goes away in a few days. So, I don't know. Maybe it's one of those things.
Let's hope it is, because a lot of people just bought this phone.
Yeah.
Razer's got their second-gen Razer Blade out.
Oh wait, about phones. How about I wanted to say that my first cousin and my sister actually bought the Samsung Galaxy S3 this weekend, and they were actually showing how they did the data transfer, and apparently when I actually read the user's manual, since I actually do that and they don't, I found out that it's actually like an ad hoc Wi-Fi network that they're using to transfer files, and that's why like when you touch it, apparently it like identifies the other phone, and then you can transfer
And it's
using
super
that.
fast.
Well,
Yeah.
that's was it S-Beam? That's the feature, NFC.
Yeah,
Right.
isn't it NFC?
Is it?
It's when they touch the phones.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Oh.
NFC. I actually got mad at Samsung about that because S-Beam is a ripoff of 4.0's Android Beam. And what makes it bad is that you can't use S-Beam on other 4.0 devices that have NFC capability. So if I have my Galaxy Nexus and they have a Galaxy S3, we can't do it.
So wait, what is that exactly? Is it just?
It's basically a file transfer protocol.
But yeah, that's what I'm saying. It uses ad hoc Wi-Fi.
I don't know. I don't know if it uses Wi-Fi.
Because no, I'm saying it didn't say in the user manual, but when I went to the website that the user manual referred to, it kind of explained it as that. That is all. It's like an ad hoc Wi-Fi network between two phones, and that's how they do.
Well,
the
NFC is what they also use for like Google Wallet and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a little bit different. I think you're thinking of
Yeah, maybe
Wi-Fi
I am.
Direct.
Maybe I'm not
Wi-Fi
sure.
Direct is another feature with 4.0. That sounds
Possibly.
more like that.
So it's a good confusion that you guys cleared up. It's good.
So Razer.
All right.
The guy wants to talk about laptops. Okay, all right.
Okay, so I'm confused. Did Razer just launch their second gen blade
Yes.
already?
Yes. Or they are launching it very soon.
Okay, wow. Okay, it
But
was
they're
sooner than I thought it was gonna be.
And what does
Well,
it
they're-
have in specs?
It's apparently lighter.
Their
It's
first gen
apparently-
one came out last year, so it's
Yeah.
been about a full
I
year.
guess.
So it's apparently like 6.6 pounds.
Price
So
tag's
it's-
still $2,500, which
pretty
is way
heavy.
too much.
Yes.
Oh yes, I heard about this.
Well, how much did
earlier.
you pay for your Alienware?
I don't remember.
Too
It's
much.
probably around that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not too much of a surprise because even Razer wants to create something that they can say rivals the Macs and all that. So if they say it rivals a MacBook Pro, they can put them pretty much for whatever price tag they want. But the problem is they haven't proven it yet because not enough people have bought it.
Yeah.
I'm
It
pretty
just-
sure people did buy it. People with the
MacBook
money.
Pro Retina display.
Well, yeah, not. I wouldn't say. I don't know. I haven't matched them up. That's what I'm saying. I've not seen that many reviews or matchups of the Razer Blade versus the MacBook Pros, and that's probably just because it's not as popular as MacBook Pros.
Oh man. Back with the original blade, it cost $2,800.
Okay.
And they had enough stock for what they thought was 30 days at launch, and they sold out in 30 minutes.
They did.
That's a $2,800 notebook.
I'm not surprised though. Yeah, because up to a certain extent, there are a lot of people who buy. The people who have money and the people who are enthusiasts. But in terms of like the general public, like how many people, college students, would you see?
Right. But
Except
it's a
Alex,
gaming,
of course.
It's a very
I don't have that money.
specific. It's a very specific market. Gaming.
Yeah, that's
Gaming
I-
laptop market, and there's not much else. Like
Well,
you're not
I-
going to buy a MacBook Pro
For-
if you're in a gaming interested
because
in
you're
gaming
gonna
laptop
be
computer.
you would buy a MacBook Pro for a number of things because like it's like business is also kind of picking it up.
I feel like
and all
MacBook
that.
Pro is really popular with college.
Yeah, it is, but I think as he said, as Jake was just saying that the gaming sphere, it's so focused
I
towards
think
gaming.
the thing I like about the Razer Blade is just the design. Like,
Yeah,
that's
you,
true.
You look at a lot of gaming laptops, and they're thick. They're kind of clunky. The
Ching.
the
That's
Razer
very
Blade
true.
is very Apple-esque, and it's not like Apple. It's not copying Apple, but it's very
Lawsuit.
sleek. It's very sleek. It's very thin. It doesn't weigh a ton. What was it 17.3 inch?
Plus also
screen?
insane battery life for all the gaming you can do.
Yeah, I mean, for
Well, it's impressive. It's not insane.
What is impressive?
I think it's like 5 hours, isn't it?
that's not bad.
Oh, okay. Yours, what is
5
yours,
hours of
like 1.5?
gaming?
About 2.5, thank you.
Oh no, I don't
And
buy
that's
that.
with a 9-cell battery.
Yeah, I know, exactly,
9-cell
right?
battery.
5 hours of gaming. Or
That's twice. That's
Actually,
like a
I can
huge
get, if I
improvement.
turn off the lights, hit the screen all the way down, and I'm not doing anything intensive on it, like I'm tweeting, I can get a
I
good,
bought a $2,800 gaming laptop,
get a
and
s-
I can tweet.
I can get a solid half hour out of this battery.
Wow.
I can tweet like no other.
This is the best quality tweeting I've ever seen.
No, I really like this for gaming. It's just the battery. It's
Well,
very
you might
underpriced.
as well have bought a desktop, except much
Udis.
more portable.
Udis. Sorry.
What?
What?
Thing.
What?
You should have bought. He just said you should have bought a.
No, you
desktop.
might as well have bought a desktop because it's not like you're going to be taking it long distances.
That's why I bought a laptop, because I take it pretty much everywhere I go.
That's true, but I'm saying like
We would
the
not be
main-
able to stream
let
in the
me-
stunning quality that we are streaming right now.
unless you
had I
had
not
his
had this
Ultrabook.
laptop. Oh, that's
Unless
true.
you had an upgraded version of maybe
Yeah, I'll
more
tell you what,
expensive
I'll
version
tell
of
you
his
what
Ultrabook. So, see, and that would have been so much smaller than your.
That's how he gets his
current one.
workout in every day. He carries it with him.
Yeah,
everywhere.
really. It was funny because I put it in sleep on the way here, and I'm carrying it in that Swiss book bag,
Army bag.
which is the really. It's got a lot of pads on the back.
Yeah.
And I can feel the heat coming through all the back from this thing,
You
and
can-
it's in sleep.
You can feel it dying.
Yeah.
You can-
Yeah, really.
You can feel the battery dying.
What is sleep mode to a gaming laptop?
It's
Yeah.
true. No, all I gotta say is, Eric, you probably what are the two main places you use this? Maybe home and here, and
Yeah.
home in the dorms.
Yeah.
I could pretty much do that with my desktop. Put it in my car and just take it home for like a 4-day
You could,
weekend.
but it's a lot more convenient to have a powerful laptop.
And plus, my desktop's much more upgradable. Is all I'm saying.
That's true.
There's unique
Sure.
uses for everything.
Yeah, but in terms of
I'll play devil's advocate here.
AJ's got an awesome desktop, I think is what he's getting at.
no, I'm not trying to be kind of,
Oh.
just a little bit.
I'm gonna pull a picture of my.
Oh, gosh.
We're gonna do a little war here.
Your gaming rig. Oh my gosh.
I'm just gonna show you the case. 'Cause it looks like a stormtrooper.
Is it online?
Oh really?
Because
I think I know what you're talking
Is
about.
the
it
picture
Cooler
online?
Master?
No, it's NCXT.
Oh yeah.
Is the picture
that's pretty
online?
good.
Of what my
Yeah.
computer?
Yeah.
There's a video somewhere, an unboxing video.
What? Boxing video?
People watch
Unboxing.
them. Don't
Oh,
do that.
unboxing.
Yeah.
This is what
Boxing.
mine looks like.
Unbox my computer.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, okay. My friend built a computer with that case.
Yeah, it's very nice because I don't need water cooling and it still stays really cool just because it's got those big fans.
Because it's got a ceiling fan in it.
Oh yeah, and it gets a lot of airflow, so you
But-
don't really need
Bigger
big-
fans require that it is.
Yeah, and you should. I've actually played it like with max settings on I don't know like Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 and with Skyrim maxed out and all that, and I still don't hear it struggling. Like I barely hear anything out of it.
My friend though, he said that the only complaint he has with that is the just it's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's very true because I can barely lift this thing without like having to put a lot of effort.
Lift with your back. Right?
I have to. Yeah, that's what I have to do. That.
That's the thing. Like, I really want to start looking into like not really home theater size towers, but
Oh,
just
yeah.
something smaller. You know, 'cause
Like the Alienware.
Well, the new X51 is really slim.
Ah,
That's what
yes,
that's designed
yes.
for.
Oh, I
My
haven't
boss,
heard that.
back when I worked at Menards, he actually
Looks
bought
like an
that, and
Xbox.
it's really
Yeah.
cool.
Like a second Xbox for 4 times the price. Yeah. Pretty much.
Well, that's because they want to get into the home or the
Gaming,
TV
yeah, console gaming and all that.
Yeah.
Looking at this blade, though, what?
No, I think that's a great, amazing creation, but I still say the price tag on that really needs to change. I would say maybe drop it by another $500. You'll see a lot more people being a little bit happier.
Or at least have the previous
lot more
generation.
people
Like
being a little
discount
bit
the
happier.
previous
Yeah,
generation.
they
one.
just dropped that, didn't they? They're not even.
Do they even sell them anymore?
I don't believe.
They,
I'm
they
gonna go
should.
Just do what Apple does with their iPhones.
Yeah, just drop the prices and sell them for just a
Yeah.
little less.
There's mine.
There, that's pretty nice.
Oh,
I was
fantastic.
looking.
That's cool. Looks
Uh,
like a
there's-
stormtrooper.
Yeah.
There's this rig. There was this rig which looked like one of the spaceships from like Star Wars or something.
Oh, nice.
It's like had all these little ridges and all that. I can't really even explain it. I'll have to find it and show it to you sometime. But that was pretty awesome because even that's got like this crazy cooling technique, which is without water cooling, it cools your thing and it doesn't even have like fans like mine. So I don't really know what they did
Okay,
there.
so they do sell the old Razor Blade,
What's
the
the
new
price of
Razor
that?
Blade,
January.
which is actually called the new Razor Blade.
Sounds like Apple.
Yeah, so
Lawsuit.
is $2,500. The old Razor Blade,
It's
or just the Razor Blade,
$2,300.
is
Wow.
$2,300.
That is
So it's a $200 price
Uh,
difference.
I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah, it's not
I'm looking at the
great,
specs
but
for
not
the
terrible.
old Razer blade.
So if I work for 2 months straight and like save as much money without spending anything, I can possibly afford that.
Possibly.
It's got
Yeah, I don't think I'll get
17-inch
2300.
screen.
This is the old
So the
Razer Blade.
tax-
Yeah, 1080 resolution, i7, 2.8 gigahertz, 8 gigs of RAM, weighs 7 pounds.
I don't know. Well, maybe it's probably because they didn't upgrade it that much, because I don't see that huge a difference in terms of specs. There are some nice things, but
The new Razer Blade, Intel Core i7 quad-core processor with hyperthreading, 2.2 gigahertz CPU, turbo to 3.2, Intel HM77 Express chipset, NVIDIA GeForce GTX 660, 2 gigs at GDDR5. That's really nice. 8 gigs of dual-channel DDR3, 500 gig, 720 RPM hard drive.
we have
Not
solid state?
not
No
solid state. No.
What? Why?
64 gig SATA.
as so that's
SATA
solid
3
state.
solid state. So it's got a 64 gig
Oh.
solid. That's probably booting.
Yeah,
That's probably your
right.
operating
Okay, so
system.
no,
That's what I was
all I
thinking
see
of.
there is a big difference would be the solid state, and I would see the graphics card, which they probably should have put a 690 in there.
I don't know.
that
The
would've- that
660.
would've been-
The 660 is going to run.
Because a
everything.
690
Plus.
is like I know, but a 690 is like what, twice the cost? Almost no, it's
I
it's
have
about another 50% of the cost over the 660. And but if they put that in there, then probably the price would have been understandable too. But this much price, it's a nice laptop, as I keep saying, but that price,
Still $2,500.
Yeah.
that price,
and that's
is
what
really-
a lot of people are complaining. But if you go back to the CEO article, it says right at the top, Razer CEO wants annual Blade laptop refresh. So he wants to do this every year. He's not concerned about the price complaints.
He wants to make it like Apple, pretty much. I guess he wants to be
Premium.
recognized as like a premium laptop company. And but that's the thing. Like, okay, the thing I read was that before the Razer Blade launched, the original one last year, a lot of people had interviewed some people had been interviewed from Razer, and they were saying that they actually want to make this more than just a gaming laptop. They actually want it to be like your video laptop maybe, but it should, they're saying that the requirement for gaming is very high because Razer is a company that makes gaming
Right.
gear. Like
High-end gaming gear.
exactly, high-end gaming gear. So that's one thing they said, but they wanted to be expanded beyond that point, but too many people would rather go to the Apple
Yeah, and I think
Pros.
what I would like to see happen is for this laptop to go outside of the gaming community, and I'm broadcasting, so this is how I'm thinking about this. But with the remappable key system that's on this computer, and just the flat out power that it comes stock with, it'd make a really good Windows production computer instead of having to go with a MacBook Pro for everything.
It's a great workstation.
Yeah, I think that's what I would like to see it for, and
without all the issues of Mac Photoshop issues and all that.
well, just without having to have a Mac.
That's true. Yeah. No, but I'm saying that in that sense, a lot more people are warming up to the idea of having a Mac recently because
It's funny you say that because the production, the broadcasting, and basically movie
Oh,
production,
yeah.
that side of it is starting. We're at the very beginning of a trend that is starting to go away from Macs again.
okay, that's
We've been using Macs for basically everything in terms of movie production. You know, Adobe After Effects, Premiere. Even though it's Adobe program, they're being run on Macs up until now, and you're starting to see producers,
changing.
mainstream producers, going to Windows computers.
How would you market that to the mainstream producers? How would you basically tell them and show them this?
The way that this is different, the way that this appeals to me, is there's so many shortcuts, and this makes a big deal. So many shortcut keys in those programs like Premiere, After Effects, stuff like that. And side note, the reason why production is going away from Apple is because Final Cut's not as important as it used to be. Premiere is caught up to where it should be,
After
pretty
Effects is
much.
pretty good, yeah.
And well, After Effects, that's the only program you're going to have.
Yeah.
Final Cut and Premiere are the two comparable
Oh.
programs. After Effects is special effects.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that has to be done in Adobe.
Yeah,
It can be done on
naturally.
a Mac, but it's an Adobe program. It's not exclusive to Mac.
The big
But-
thing is that there's a choice. Now
Yeah.
you have a choice between if you want to have a Mac workstation or a PC workstation.
Right, and it never used to be that. where
No,
you
it
had
always
to,
used to be Mac.
Well-
right, because you'd maybe use After Effects to do all the editing and stuff, but to actually piece it together, you'd have to use Final Cut.
And Apple's also shooting themselves in the foot because they haven't updated the Mac Pro in
Right.
like what 4 years.
Yeah.
Now they've been totally so focused on all the iPad, the iPhone, and
It's
iPod.
like they've completely lost
focus on
their professional phone. They had such a big, like,
They had a grip. They had a
yeah,
real grip on it.
they had a real grip on the professional filmmakers and everything. And now because Final Cut 10 and they haven't updated the Mac Pros.
You know,
Right.
another cause or of the lack of true like innovative leadership or like I don't know entrepreneurial leadership. I would say. Well, that's what we learned in the class today morning, didn't we?
Okay,
Because-
continue with your sentence. Yes.
Yeah, it's like because Steve Jobs was just like this really creative, passionate guy who actually managed to do everything he wanted to do, and who managed to basically push Apple in every direction, and that means every direction. And that's how I think they managed to keep in touch with everything they wanted to do, or he wanted to do, and they did it. Now I think they're kind of losing sight on some aspects, and that's why you see so many glitches everywhere. Not everywhere, but
There's probably
some
more money
places.
to be made in the smaller market of not exclusively
Yeah.
production, video
Yeah.
production PCs.
But that's true. But
PCs
in that
or
sense, like for me
computers.
and Jake, who are not actually in production, we would look at a MacBook Pro and be like, "Oh, that's a really nice computer," and like you could get one for maybe $1,500 now,
Mhm.
and that's just nice to use
Mhm.
in general. But when we look at like the Razer Blade, it's like I have a desktop for gaming. I don't really need to spend
Right.
2.5 times the price of my desktop
Yep.
in a laptop,
That's a
which
good point.
I don't really.
I think
And you can
Razer.
upgrade it.
I mean, I don't.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily think Razer has to, especially based on the fact that with the OLED Blade, they sold out in 30 minutes at that price tag. But I believe
Enthusiasts.
if they chose to market this at more than just gamers, with what I was trying to get into earlier, and I got sidetracked, the remappable keys on this computer and the little display down there,
Yeah.
so many uses, so many ways that could be applied.
That is
So many awesome things that you could do with
Especially
that.
since they have the LCD screen.
Yeah, so many crazy
think-
cool things that you could do with that in a production setting.
After they sold out the first 30 minutes, I think they were a little too satisfied with themselves. Maybe that might have what had happened. They were like, "Oh, we're selling out so good. We're going to continue in our regular marketing sense." But
They still
I-
dropped the price tag though. And then
Yeah, I think the
Yeah.
the annual refresh that they want to do is really cool. That's a really neat idea. I'm just hoping the price tag eventually comes down a bit.
It will. It
it,
will.
it should. That's like in that sense. Well, if their product is good enough that I will
Well,
be using
if you
it.
keep upgrading it, then they're gonna justify their more expensive price.
Yeah,
tag,
no, but
a
all-
MacBook
yeah,
Pro
all I would
or
say-
something like
Sorry. Oh, go ahead. I'm
that. No,
sorry.
you can.
Yeah, it's too late. Yeah.
Okay.
So, all I can say is, if it eventually becomes such a system that you can maybe use over the next 5 years without having to say, "Oh, like
My
in the
technology's out of date.
yeah, if you can use it for 5 years, I'll be happy about it because
Right.
it's like $500 a year instead of having to spend maybe. I have had my my desktop for less than a year now, and I'm almost wanting to make upgrades already for like the processor because of the new Ivy bridges that have come out.
Gets outdated fast.
And that's like, and in that sense, if I can stay with that laptop, if I can say the battery's still working amazing after like 3 years or 4 years, and the entire gaming thing is still up to date, can still handle all the latest games, and like I can still take this anywhere I want and play whatever I want, then I'll be happy to buy it. But honestly, I don't know how effective that'll be because we don't know in the next couple of years. You might see a graphics card which is way better and you can't even upgrade to it.
I'm not a huge gamer. I mean, the graphics card in my tower is probably about 6 years old. It's an NVIDIA GeForce 9800.
Oh wow, those are the best in back in the day. But
Yeah, I mean, I can still. I mean, granted, I'm not a huge gamer, but I can still play all the games I want in pretty decent.
That's like I'm saying. Okay, I totally agree with you where you're going with that. But
I
that's
can play Crysis.
Have you upgraded your processor?
My
in the
my
past.
processor is an i7 870.
There you go. That's a pretty nice one. And on top
Yeah.
of that actually helps you play the games.
Yeah.
So it's not just a graphics card in this sense. I think a lot of processors have come out which help you.
Especially now that you're having the hybrids coming out.
So I'm just saying, in that sense, like
Yeah.
in terms of a laptop, there is a company which I looked at for a while called Stager. They have laptops which have GPUs which are not soldered straight to the laptop or the motherboard. So you can get GPUs, buy them outside for laptops, and you can upgrade them.
Yeah.
And that would be nice.
On the topic of laptops, we've got the first Windows 8 laptop that's been designed for
The hybrid?
Windows 8. Yeah, the hybrid
Shipping
from
with Windows 8.
Acer.
Okay.
What is it? The Aspire S7? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Can't remember.
I've got a video here of CNET that I'll play in the background while we talk
That's
about it.
Sorry.
So Jake, would you be getting this one? Would you suggest your Ultrabook, or would you suggest this Acer and Aspire?
Well, I
S7?
guess I did a lot of research on Ultrabooks, and most of them are out of my price range, which is why I picked this one.
Well, what's so great about this Acer Aspire, this brand new thing? It's what we mean by hybrid. For those of you who don't know what Windows 8 is, it's really kind of designed for tablets
and phones.
something for touch interface.
Not phones.
Yeah,
Up to a
tablets.
certain extent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This computer from
Why not
Acer, the Aspire S1 or S7,
S7.
whatever.
S7.
I mean, numbers. It's got a touch screen built in, so you can basically do either keyboard or the touch interface.
That would drive me insane. Just having
Fingerprints.
all the fingerprints.
Yeah.
I mean, I could deal with fingerprints on my tablet and on
But
my
that's-
phone,
yeah.
but on my laptop screen, if there's a finger mark, I have to get it off. It drives me insane. And plus, who wants to reach? Like, if you have a
Oh.
laptop, who wants to reach and touch their screen?
Yeah.
No, it's. I think one of the ones that I saw was that the screen flips around, literally. One of the concept ones, and then you flip it around, you close your thing, and then you have your tablet, and it's still pretty thin.
Yeah, I was waiting for because when I went to CES last year, Intel at their keynote presentation had those ones that flipped
Flip
over,
around.
and I was like, oh my god.
Because you
I
can clean
need
that
to
so
have
much
this.
easier too. That would
Yeah.
Well, the nice thing is that, for like, for people who like, journalists and people who go to like tech events and whatnot, it is so nice to be able to have like a tablet on you, run your Windows applications, and then when you get back and have to type something,
just flip it
you
around.
flip it around and you can
Yeah.
type.
I agree.
It's, oh,
Well, and
I'm
that's
so excited for that.
Is it the S3 or the S7?
That's
S7.
S7.
Okay.
That's
S3
like the
is-
fourth
This
time.
this video is from the S3.
Ah. Well,
Galaxy
okay,
S3.
Jay. What would you suggest? Do you think that would be more exciting to you, or do you think that this Ultrabook idea, like with a very powerful, very long-lasting laptop, is what you would like better?
Well, what I looked at is a lot of price tag because I'm a college student, and
Yeah.
I mean, I was in the market for a new computer. I knew I liked Ultrabooks. I liked the fact that they have battery life, amazing battery life, and portable, unlike an Alienware.
I don't know
But-
what you're talking about.
I don't know. So I guess I looked around a lot, and this laptop came out the end of last year. Got pretty good reviews across the board, and it has still just about the best battery life that I've seen, at least from in comparison to even like a MacBook Air has a
Hmm.
better battery life than MacBook Air.
Now we've got
So-
the Acer S7 playing up there for those of you on the
Oh.
live stream or watching the show afterwards. It's really crappy quality just because we're streaming so many things right now. But the interesting thing is this actually has a Gorilla Glass covering over the top of which I think makes it look cool, but again, fingerprints. It brings up the Windows Metro design on the screen, and you can see him touching it and moving it all around. It's just a whole new type of computer. With the design aspect of this that was really cool that Acer had in mind was typically, and I didn't even think about this, but when you flip up a laptop, it's really easy to push. So when you're pushing on the screen would go back. If you're using it to type stuff out on the screen instead of the keyboard, you'd push the screen back accidentally.
Yeah.
This opens up to a certain point, and then it gets really stiff. Like you can still push it back, but it stiffens so that when you're moving stuff around on the screen, you don't accidentally
Smart.
move it.
So
I
it's
thought that was
like
pretty smart.
You go like this, and then with that you can just go.
Well, it goes
the
to like
side.
that point, yeah, and then it gets really.
Well, mine's already really stiff anyway. So.
Yeah.
We could probably push it all the way back if we wanted to.
So,
Oh, please don't.
You're talking about how it swivels. It doesn't swivel. It just opens to 180 degrees.
Right.
Not that anyone really uses a laptop like that.
Yeah, I can't imagine using a laptop like that.
Looks like it has a mini HDMI out. I'm not sure if it has a full HDMI out.
It says here, it's the.
I don't know. I think in the past I've seen like a laptop which was just connected in the middle, and you could flip the screen around, like turn it 180 degrees horizontally, not the vertical, or I don't know what that even is, like an arc. So it's not like you're opening the screen, but it's actually like you're turning the screen around, putting it back down so the screen faces upward, and when it's closed.
Right.
And I think that was like some concept design I saw in the past with some HP or something, which I don't even remember. And that never sold back then because they didn't have any kind of special things for it. That would just be like a laptop with the touchscreen, which is just flipped around. And what do people do with that?
Maybe
that
use
was
a stylus or something.
Yeah, and they did it for a little bit, but
which wasn't the greatest technology back then.
yes, and then the entire idea about tablets and stuff hadn't been hadn't been around very long. So somebody, like, I can't remember if it was HP or somebody else, picked it up pretty fast, but it never did anything because it wasn't popularized yet.
Yeah, I believe HP had a concept because I think Steve Ballmer actually demoed it a couple of years ago at some event. It was, I think, wasn't it called the Slate?
Yeah, it's called the Slate.
Yeah, and it just, it
It
was
just
a
disappeared.
business. It was a business tablet, but I've said this for years, but you can never run a desktop operating system on a tablet.
But they're doing what about Windows 8?
Well, that I was talking about before Windows 8, where they made before the internet. Because
Yeah.
I mean, you know, you look at, let's say it was
No,
Windows
that's
7.
I totally agree.
You have
with
the little start button, so you have to, like, especially if the touchscreen sucks. I mean, you're never gonna. It's a disaster.
that. Yeah.
But I'm really looking forward to this.
What about the? We talked a little bit about the table Surface.
Yes, I love this thing.
Table Surface.
I
Table
cannot-
Surface.
I can.
Table Surface.
Microsoft's Surface. That's what we're talking about.
Yes.
I mean, they did. There was two, you know, before the tablet Surface came out, there was a table called the Surface. Now it's called something. It's like Pixel Sense or something like that. That's called. But basically, Microsoft they're opening up a whole bunch of pop-up stores, kind of like what Apple's done at South by Southwest when the iPhone came out about 2 years ago. But yeah, Microsoft's having these pop-up stores come up on October 28th, which coincides with the tablet launch. And I can't remember everywhere that they're putting these pop-up stores. Big cities, nothing around Omaha. I think the closest one to Omaha is in
Kansas?
Chicago.
I think.
If it was in Kansas City, I'd
Yeah,
go down
Drive
there.
around.
around,
Yeah, I wouldn't be here. I don't know where the exact one is. But
It's unfortunate.
Microsoft hasn't announced any pricing, but Ballmer was quoted a few weeks ago by The Verge saying it's going to cost anywhere between, like, the RT version, the one that runs on ARM, that won't be the
Yeah.
Pro version, will be about $300 to $500, and then the Pro version will be up to around $800, which, in my opinion, isn't that bad.
Because it's supposed to be as good as some gaming laptops. Not.
Yeah, I mean, you're throwing an i5. You're throwing an i5 into a tablet. That's impressive by its own.
Plus, with the entire hybrid ability of the i5, you can actually play games. And they said they tried Civilization 5 full graphics ability, and it ran pretty smooth.
I don't remember exactly what they tested, but I mean, the Surface just has so much potential. Especially for, I'm excited for it because I can finally bring a tablet, type in a real Word application.
Oh yeah, that's very true.
You know, and also this thing has pen input, which is perfect for like journalists
Yep.
and everything, because you can flip it over from, like, you know, typical Windows to the tablet interface.
No more notebooks.
Take notes. Yeah,
Yeah.
you can take notes, and then when you're done, you can flip it over and go into Word and type it or whatever. The only thing I am kind of iffy on with the Surface is if you're trying to use it as a laptop, I don't think you're going to be able to
Too-
do it.
Too heavy, you think? On the
I don't think it's gonna be stable enough
Yeah.
because you have the kickstand, but if you have the kickstand and that felt keyboard, I think
don't think it's gonna work.
I don't think it's gonna work.
Yeah.
So like if I'm sitting in a press conference, I don't think I can be able to sit there with the Surface.
You're gonna have to get an extra like some kind of cover for it, which actually stabilizes the entire setup.
Yeah. Well, the Surface comes with like instead of the felt keyboards, I think they have a actual solid mechanical,
Yeah, like a little plastic.
Like the ones that come for iPads.
kind of like the Logitech one.
Oh yeah,
the Logitech one. Yeah, it's very
But I
similar
think
similar to
it's-
that.
The
But
way it looks nicer than that though. Maybe.
oh yeah, I mean in the beginning when they announced the Surface, when they had that smart cover thing, I was like, oh, smart cover, and then they said the keyboard, I was like, whoa,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's awesome. And I thought that was. I'm just excited for it because I think it's going to change a lot of stuff. Because I mean, if you look at the Surface, where you can run a full desktop operating system, and you look at the iPad, all of a sudden the whole cliche with tablets being a consumption device is gone.
Yep. Now you
Totally
can, Yeah,
gone.
you can do production.
And now
on it.
you can actually do stuff on a
You can
tablet
use it more as a
instead of
workstation.
yeah.
Yeah, no, that's basically why I saw it. I was like, oh, I can actually use this for Word. I can actually play games on it. I can actually do like a dozen other things to actually do on my desktop, and that's why I want to get it. That's basically the main reason why,
Yeah.
because it replaces a laptop. I don't need to carry this little bulky thing around. It's
Little
small.
bulky thing.
Yeah, it is small, but it's like actually pretty bulky. It's fairly heavy. I'm pretty sure the Surface will be heavy, but not.
I think it'll be a good heavy, like a good
I think it's
like-
weight to it.
Yeah, but that's good because you don't want it to be flimsy.
Right.
But the exciting thing is though, a tablet screen isn't it going to be about 10 inches?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's basically be the size of my Zoom here. So it's going to be small, but there's a display port on it.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah.
So I can be, ideal
Wow.
situation is we're at CES and I'm typing stuff up and I can hook a monitor up to my tablet and still have Windows going.
Wow.
Like that's awesome to me. Like the amount of productivity you could be replacing towers with these things.
In the future.
I mean,
hopefully,
instead of companies giving out desktops and laptops, they can just give out these Surface
Yeah.
tablets, and then all of a sudden you're reducing your costs. I mean, it's not like those
And
computers are
especially,
really
like-
high spec.
And now looking at how everything, as you said, they're not high spec, and now looking at how the operating system, now everybody will be moving to Windows 8 probably because of all the new applications, like all the new enterprise applications that all
Everybody?
come out.
I don't know about everybody.
I'm not talking about everybody, but I
I
mean,
don't know
like,
about half. Of
a
people.
lot. A lot of people will try and move because of all the enterprise applications will eventually start being supported only for Windows 8.
I don't
Look at
think the
XP.
enterprise is going to hook up to Windows 8.
That's true.
Quote me now, but I don't think that Windows 8 is going to take off in the enterprise
Oh,
just
yes.
because everyone moved from XP to Windows 7.
Yep.
And so, I mean, look at UNO. They just got Windows 7, last year, 2 years ago?
Oh, we're still running XP in a lot of stuff. So.
Yeah. So, I mean, UNO represents a lot of
That's very
enterprise
true.
situations. So, everyone moved from XP to Windows 7. That took 10 years.
Especially down in
But
PKI,
let's-
you'd think they'd be up to date, but a lot of those computers, at least when I was down there last, were still running XP.
That's true. No, but I'm saying like a lot of people do say maybe Windows 8 won't take off. Maybe it'll have to be the next big thing. But the tablet itself,
That's
the
the
Surface.
That's the iPhone. That's the next big thing. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
The next big thing is already here.
That's
Galaxy
right,
S3.
What are we talking about now?
Oh wow. Well, I mean the next big operating system from Windows. And
Windows 8 to me has a ton of potential, just because I think it can really revolutionize the tablet space.
Yeah.
It might not be able to revolutionize the desktop space as much, but I think you're going to be seeing a lot of people move from the desktop to tablets instead of laptops. Because I was looking at Ultrabooks, but to
Yeah.
me, I think it's more cost effective
So
to get a
has-
tablet.
I think
get
Ultrabooks kind of had their time. They kind of came and
Then they immediately
went
away, yeah.
Well, you look at the evolution of the Ultrabook. You had netbooks, and then you had Ultrabooks, and now you're having tablets
Yeah.
with Windows on them. So,
I guess it's kind of part of the other. I guess.
yeah.
survival of the fittest, apparently.
Well, I mean that's how the whole thing came around. I mean, people bought netbooks in droves.
Oh,
But-
dark.
That's your
It's
computer.
not me. Okay, well, the question I have is like in the general idea, how soon would it be there? Like, how soon do you think people will go and buy the tablet? Maybe not the $800 one, but the $300 one. And how soon would this become a largely adopted concept? How soon would people go away from Apple and Android.
Well, Apple's always have their following,
That's true.
but I think the RT one is going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see how it takes off, because I could be totally wrong. But you look at the RT one, and that's not traditional Windows. That's iPad. That's basically their competition to the iPad, because you're having
for half the price.
Not really. I mean, the thing that's going to be around, 300. I'm guessing it's be about 350.
That would be a sweet price, yeah.
Because you're undercutting the iPad, not by much, but you're undercutting the iPad. But Microsoft has to be careful, because with the iPad Mini coming out, they have to have that sweet spot between the 8-inch iPad and the 10-inch iPad. So they kind of have to be like, okay, well, we got to figure out how we want to market this. But I think the RT version will be nice, because it'll actually give Apple a run. The problem with it is that there's not a lot of apps available. I think that's what's going to end up killing it, if anything.
Do you think there'll be enough independent developers, even maybe after the first gen, to actually build apps for it? Because that'll be like a new app market for people to go and try and make money out of.
Yeah,
it's hard for, I guess, even anyone that's not an iOS developer. I mean, the iOS market is so huge. It's hard to get people to develop apps for. I mean, WebOS kind of died because of the lack of developers, and then
WebOS died because of HP.
But then you can also say,
I hate HP.
Then also you can say that what about the Android market? Like, how did that app store over there come up so well?
Android's problem, and I could go on and on and on for this, so stop me if I get too long here. All right.
It's already gone too long.
Okay, right now. No, go ahead.
And that's a teaser for the next episode.
So, really long story short, Android's problem is that it's fragmented. And so developers had to be making applications that would work on 3 different versions of Android. And then you throw the tablet space out there. So now you have developers making stuff for Android tablets, which haven't taken off at all, really. And then you have to make all these you have to make them work. Yeah. Your game has to work for Android 2.0. That's an exaggeration, but I mean, you can't take advantage of the latest Android operating system. Yeah. Whether Apple has the advantages, if they release a new operating system, people are going to flock to it.
Update to it,
yeah. Or Apple mandates that you have to have.
Say Apple will make you update it.
Yeah. And that's Android's problem. I honestly think Android tablets are going to go away.
I'm pretty sure they will. I think the big competition will be the Windows.
It's gonna be between Windows and Apple again. I think Google failed in the tablet space.
What about Amazon?
That's
different. That's
a whole different.
No, it's not.
It's
different.
It's like in the mini
but
market.
It's also Android.
It's
I can't say that it's not.
It's like in the mini tablet market. Now all of a sudden that is a big market.
I think
that's market.
Are you talking more about like the e-reader type market or the Kindle Fire?
The Kindle Fire tablet.
See, I think that's going to go away with the Android stuff too. Like
I think
Alex
so too.
said. I think the e-reader, like the e-books.
One thing is keeping it alive though: the price range and the content. So you can't really discount it.
I mean,
I think the e-book, whatever.
There's always going to be a
tablet.
The e-reader market will stay around because
parents. 2, grandparents.
Okay.
One, the prices are so cheap.
Yeah,
you can go get an a nice e-reader from Barnes & Noble or Amazon for like $69, which is, I mean, that's like a cheap birthday present now.
Yeah.
If you look at it. So you have price going after. Barnes & Noble and Amazon have a fantastic book library.
Not just books, but now.
Books, magazines, all that other stuff, and I think the e-reader market will be fine, but the Android tablet market is just gonna
poof and just disappear.
It's gonna disappear.
I mean, if they keep undercutting Apple's prices, they're always gonna have some.
No, Amazon. With the Amazon tablet itself, the only reason it was alive, the only reason it really became big was because it was the only thing selling at $200.
Right.
And it was the only tablet of its time actually selling with all this content that was out there.
So they have a market.
They always did because of the stuff. The same way they have a market on Microsoft. Like you can go onto their website and you can watch all the videos, you can listen to all the songs. So the same way you could almost say that will almost disappear and that Microsoft's tablet take over.
But is there going to be that much of like?
No.
There's not going to be.
It's going to survive for
if
a while.
you look at a Kindle Fire and you look at the Nexus 7, you can get the Amazon Kindle app or the Nook app. And
no, but it's not going to be as good. That's always what they've stated, that the Kindle will always be direct access to all of your stuff, including Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
So that'll be like directly linked to your Amazon account, and it'll have that great cohesiveness.
Yeah. The thing that Amazon has that Google doesn't is an ecosystem.
That's what the thing is.
That's why Apple's in the lead. They have a great ecosystem. But
Yeah.
that's my spiel.
So
Oops, again.
we're gonna
And with
start
that-
wrapping this up. Yeah, Apple. It's gonna be Apple versus Microsoft, and Android just sucks. Google just sucks. That's gonna be it. We
For
are
tablets.
We are moving on roughly probably an hour 15, hour 20,
15 hour.
an hour 15, an
Okay.
hour 20.
I thought you just said
50-hour marathon.
We've been
Let's
here.
keep
We
going.
haven't eaten.
And
I'm
it
getting
doesn't-
really hungry. I need to shower.
Because when you're hungry, you have to take a shower.
Yeah, you do. Be like the
I'm hungry, I
Seinfeld.
need the urge to
The
shower.
Seinfeld episode where Kramer's
Cooking in the
his
shower. Oh, God.
I need to watch
That's
Seinfeld.
gonna be it for this week. We'll be back next week, Tuesday, 7 o'clock, here on KVN 90.7 H-2 Mav Radio. I think that's it. We're done.
Exit music.
I forgot to. I was gonna take off that closed caption halfway
It's
through.
still
but
going on.
You'll just have to deal with it. So you know the entire time that 7 p.m. Tuesdays is the Tier 3 podcast. Because that's been up there the whole time.
You might as well leave it up there now.
I'm gonna put it in the little ticker tape that just runs because it says "Welcome back to fall." We don't need that anymore.
Yeah.
Anyway, Thanks for listening. We will see you guys next week on Tier 3.
Bye.
Yeah. Bye.
Wow, this was not good. We're still on. All right, we'll see you guys later.
Bye.